Welcome to the NFL Coast to Coast podcast brought to you by lineups.com. Nate and Josh coming back to you here with NFL Week 14 using DraftKings Pick 6 to find 6 plays that we do like to go more or less than here in this Week 14 action. So let's get right into your first look here, Nate, talking about Quinshon Judkins, but we are fading the man.
I know, right? You see him at first, and it's the guy I've been riding all season in terms of Pick 6, and now I'm saying time to zag. Time to actually respect that Titans run defense, which is very good with Jeffrey Simmons back. Noticed his name is spelled differently, Jeffrey. But him and T'Vondre Sweat form a very good duo on the interior, and so where you see the Titans struggle against runners lately, like Kenneth Walker, is guys who get to the edge, who use their speed to go around, not power runners. They've been very good against the power run game since Simmons came back. In fact, they're tied 6th in yards per game and yards per carry allowed. Just absolutely shut down that Jaguars rushing attack. 20 carries, 35 yards for Etienne and Tootin. And that was a rushing attack that had, pummeled the Chargers 2 weeks prior. Walker's the only guy to hit 50 plus yards against the Titans since Jonathan Taylor's explosion. That was back in week 8. No Jeffrey Simmons in that one. And I mean, the thing is, Titans secondary, very, very bad. So why are you going to pound your head against the wall if you're most teams? Now, I don't know how much leeway the Browns are going to give Shedeur Sanders, but that goes both ways. It's like the Titans are not going to respect his ability to pass downfield much either. So they're going to stack the box. Because of the quarterback situation, Judkins has faced the most average defenders in the box of any running back in the NFL. He's at 45%, and there's not a single other running back over 40%. So, I mean, yeah, the number, I think this got up to 90 at one point, and people were like, whoa. Like, let's not get carried away. I mean, he needed 23 carries to get to 91 against San Francisco's defense last week. That's the worst front seven in the NFL, probably, due to injuries. And his previous 4, he was averaging 50 yards per game on 2.9 yards per carry, including against Vegas. Not a good defense in Shedeur's debut. So I will gladly take the Titans defense to try to bottle him up on volume here.
Pick them up in fantasy this week. Had to sit the Pats. So I totally agree that this is definitely a good spot to be sort of fading too much success for Cleveland in general on offense, despite Tennessee struggling as it has consistently through the air on defense. As you mentioned, Jeffrey is back, the big interior lineman. So I do like that look there with Quinshon finally fading the young man. But let's look at Breece and talk about more. We're not fading Breece in this one. We're getting probably a pretty good number because he's coming off some tough matchups here with Baltimore, Atlanta, 2 of the toughest teams to run against, especially as Baltimore's continued to get healthier. And look, I think a lot of this comes down to like you just trust the Jets a bit more with Tyrod Taylor than you do with Justin Fields. Imagine saying that sentence like 3 or 4 years ago we didn't know if Tyrod Taylor would still be in the league right now, and we thought Justin Fields might be somebody. But we're talking about like still a ton of carries for Breece, right? 17.5 carries the last 2, just can't really get the efficiency up against 2 of the better rush defenses in the league. But we know he's still going to be a snap percentage hog, right? 88% of the snaps versus Atlanta last week. And now he's probably coming back. He's coming back in the spot against a team that doesn't like to play in the cold. I don't know what it is. There's dudes on Miami that have played for this franchise that are from cold places, but for whatever reason, this team definitely shows its struggles when it comes up to New York, comes up to New England and the like. But he already got him in Miami for almost 6 yards a bump at 81 yards earlier in the season so far. And the Jets run blocking has continued to improve a bit. So it has gotten better. This Miami run defense has not. It's 29th in yards allowed per game on the ground. So I think we're in a good spot for another more than play here for an opposing running back.
Yeah, Josh, it's not just cold here in the Northeast. It is frigid right now. It is polar vortex. I know you don't feel that out in California.
It's cold in the Bay right now, brother. I'm just telling you.
Okay, even out there, yeah. I mean, I'm seeing 35 with some rain here in New York, so maybe it's not going to be quite as cold as it is in the rest of New England. I count New York as part of New England, but that's a different debate. Let's get on to pick 2. Brenton Strange, 43.5 receiving yards. Let's take more than that. I mean, Strange is the key to this Jaguars offense and just seriously underrated. I mean, not by the folks at Pro Football Focus who say he's the number 2 tight end overall in the league this year. But he's been an insane run blocker. So he unlocks that run game. They're playing the Colts and they're probably going to try to establish the run game against a team that's not really great against the run, especially with DeForest Buckner out. And once they do that, then they can unlock Strange on some play action stuff. His targets are high value, man. He's second in among tight ends at deep target rate, third in yards per route run, ninth in ADOT. And he just immediately returned to that big time role after the injury, ran 24 routes in both games, averaged 69 yards, 77% of the routes for those 24 routes. And that because that was a more comfortable game flow for the Jags, where they were either neutral or, I mean, they absolutely crushed the Titans last week. You're not going to be in comfortable game flow against the Colts with the division on the line. Like, this is going to probably be a high scoring game. It's going to be a game where you're never going to feel safe against that offense. And this is the way to attack the Colts defense. They allow the second most yards to tight ends. Their linebackers very bad in coverage, and their cornerbacks are very, very good in coverage. So I don't trust any of these Jags receivers, least of all Brian Thomas, who actually has the same number as Strange here at Pick6, which is like, wow, how strange is this, Josh, that Brian Thomas, first round fantasy pick, is now the same as a tight end that nobody had heard of coming into the season.
I mean, I hit him last season for a nice little play. So I do like Brenton Strange. He's a very soft spot in my heart. But he's a wide-bodied man, and that has kept him on the field for those run blocking plays, some big formations that have still allowed, T. Lawrence and company to pass as well at times. So I love how involved he is in this one. But let's take a quick sec, Nate, to tell everyone about our partners at DraftKings Pick Six and the deal that they have that you don't want to miss for new customers. When you do play $5 or more on your first paid Pick Six entry, you'll get $50 in Pick6 credits. That's right, play $5, get 50 in Pick6 credits to lock in your picks and take your shot at big wins. Just use our link to sign up and start playing. If you've been thinking about trying Pick6, now's the time to get in. Just use the link in the bio to sign up, and all new DraftKings customers can play $5 and get $50 in Pick6 credits. Let's build some lineups. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org in Connecticut. Must be 18 plus. Age and eligibility restrictions vary by jurisdiction. Pick6 not available everywhere, including New York and Ontario. Void where prohibited. One per new customer. Bonus awarded as non-withdrawable Pick6 credits that expire in 14 days. Ends January 25th, 2026 at 11:59 p.m. Eastern. Terms at pick6.draftkings.com/promos. Let me get a less than here on Ashton Jeanty. Less than 81.5 rush and receiving combined. Tough sledding out here for Raiders players, anybody who's really looking to pick up some yardage for this squad, whether it be on the ground or through the air. It's pretty tough right now. Awful run blocking, and he's had 7 straight games now with under 3.5 yards per carry. It's a dude that we know has some burst, man, and he's just not getting any holes to burst through, essentially. In his last 3, 29.3 rushing on 12.7 attempts. That is not good. All right. Interim OC here really hasn't leaned on the run game nearly as much. Just 15 attempts, 31 yards versus the Chargers. And that's the same Chargers team that got absolutely housed by Jacksonville right before their bye. So I think even if you try to get him the ball as a receiver, Denver is all over that. Pretty much the last time they matched up, 3 catches and 5 yards. So you can throw it to him out wide in the flat. I just don't know how much yak he's going to be picking up after that. And he did get 60 rush yards on 19 carries in that one, a surprisingly close game. But we just kind of told you volume might not quite be there for the run game in this one with the way that this offense has been playing. And I mean, there's no reason to think that they're going to be winning and nursing a lead. So I just don't know where 81.5 rush and receive yards are going to come from.
Yeah, I don't see where the Raiders will get any juice to keep this game close the way that last one did, right? In prime time, short week. Bo Nix looked awful. Bo Nix is playing much better. He takes a lot of slander, man. But I mean, he should have his way against this Raiders defense, which is just not good outside of Max Crosby. So, but I mean, really, yeah, it's just about the terrible run blocking. And if the Broncos can rally to the football and understand when they're trying to throw it to Jeanty, I don't really see how he gets there.
Yeah.
Kenny Gainwell, 48.5 rush and receiving yards. Go less than on that. Initially looking at Jaylen Warren, that kind of got moved down under 70 now at this point, but I don't really like either back in terms of the Ravens run defense being, going from worst to first, kind of like their pass defense did last year. Since week 5, when they moved Kyle Hamilton, the all-star safety, all-pro safety, down into the box, they are number 1 in rush defense by EPA. They've they've been vulnerable to receiving backs in the last couple weeks. Breece Hall, Chase Brown broke a couple big ones, but those are, your flash in the pan plays. Those are Gainwell is very talented as a receiver. He's taken all the receiving work from Jaylen Warren. The Steelers have used Jaylen Warren exclusively as a rusher. But so if you do want to just say like less than on the rush yards for Gainwell, maybe that's a little safer in case he does break a big play. But I just think this is going to be a black and blue AFC North game where there's not a lot of big plays broken either way. I mean, if he failed to get to this number against Buffalo's 31st ranked defense, rush defense, I don't see why we would trust him here. Steelers also lost their left tackle, Broderick Jones. Put him on IR. The right guard, James Daniels, is hurting. And the replacement, Andres Pete, is a veteran, but last year, 56 PFF run grade, blocking grade. So I don't think the Steelers are going to have much success anywhere on offense.
Yeah, no, that seems totally fair. It does seem like at that point, you'd probably end up relying a bit more on Jaylen Warren, especially if he does have any semblance of success as the starter, but not nearly going to be as much to go around, essentially, for the backfield in general. So let's talk again about the youngster, Jayden Higgins, and go more than 34 and a half receiving there for Higgs. And Higgs, we'll give him the nickname, whatever. Just don't overlook the kid, man. 4+ receptions in 5 of his last 6. He is second on the team behind the all-world Nico Collins in air yards and routes run during that time. Love to see that CJ Stroud comes back from injury and goes 5 for 5 when targeting the youngster here, 65 yards on those 5 receptions for him. Drew a weaker matchup. He's going to continue to draw a weaker matchup than Nico Collins. He might draw one corner at times as a result, consistently going to have that single coverage. But now he's going to get Jalen Watson while we see Trent McDuffie obviously shadow Nico. Watson currently rated 71st in coverage, 91st in yards per game allowed, up at about 44. So I do think, you get another 5-6 targets for Higgins, a guy who not necessarily running the deepest routes, obviously still second behind Nico, but still with right in that nice to 10-15 yard window should be good enough to get there on just say like 3 or 4 receptions, really.
I mean, he's got a pretty diverse route tree for a rook, man. I mean, they've kind of turned him loose. I mean, he can beat guys to the outside. He can do the double move. I have been really impressed with Higgins, and for some reason, the numbers just have not reflected the market has not reflected how good he's been. Like, he's been absolutely rock solid, except when he played Denver and Seattle's elite defenses. KC is middling at best. So there should be some points in this game with Mahomes and company desperate at home. So I definitely like this one.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we'll see if it's an interesting game. I do think that the Texans might be able to hang around, obviously, the way that they've been playing on D. But that is all the time that we do have for you guys in this one. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Coming back to you next week, as always, with more Pick Six here with DraftKings. So until we see you next, best of luck.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. CT. 18 plus. 19 plus ALNE. 21 plus AZMAVA. Valid only where Pick6 operates. See dkng.co/Pick6 states. Void in NY, ONT, and where prohibited. Eligibility restrictions apply. 1 per new DraftKings customer. First $5 plus paid Pick6 to receive max $50 issued as non-withdrawable Pick6 credits that expire in 14 days, 336 hours. Ends January 25th, 2026 at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time. Terms: pick6.draftkings.com/promos. Sponsored by DraftKings.